Hey everybody, it's Rich from richonmoney.com, and today I'm going to talk to you about a very important subject. Are you ready to invest in real estate? Now this is a tough question. We all watch these podcasts. There's the podcast, the popular real estate ones. There's these blogs of successful real estate investors. There's tons of stories out there in the mass media about how much money people are making in real estate. And so naturally you're thinking to yourself, damn it, I want some of that money. You wouldn't be alone. But what I'm here to tell you today is what most real estate gurus don't want to tell you. You're probably not ready yet. There are 4 things that are crucial to being ready to invest in real estate. Number 1 is having your debt under control. Number 2 is having retirement accounts. Number 3 is knowledge. And number 4 is having a mentor. Most people feel like they can get by without those things, and I would say, I think you're wrong. Does anybody remember Carleton Sheets? He had these late night infomercials. Carleton Sheets was, from my perspective, one of the original real estate gurus on TV. They played his ads late at night for a few hours, and he would bring in all these guests, people off the street, right, that used his system to buy real estate with no money down and no experience, and they made a fortune. $200,000 in their first 6 months. What I always noticed was this little disclaimer they would write at the bottom. It said something like, these results are not typical, actual results will vary. Nowadays, we got your podcast, you got your real estate gurus on the internet. We're bombarded in the media with how easy it is to make money in real estate. And in all those situations, there is no law that requires that there be that disclaimer there, but there should be. I made a good amount of money investing in real estate, but I made money first by getting rid of my debt, saving, and investing well. I invested in real estate when I was already in a financial position of strength, and many people don't want to wait for that. They want to invest now, and I think that's a mistake. A lot of people ask these questions like, how can I lose weight without dieting? How can I get rich without working hard? How can I be successful in real estate with no money and no experience? None of those questions I just asked are possible. You can't do those things. You have to put the work in first to make things happen. And there are lots of people out there that have these books, that have these websites, that have these courses that will try to convince you it's easy with their proven system. What is first on my list? Debt. I had a fellow military member come to me one day, and he'd heard about how I was doing in real estate. And he said, can you help me do the same thing? I want to buy a bunch of properties and have like a passive income like you do. And I said, sure, I'll help you out. Let me know your financial situation right now. Come to find out, he has no savings, tons of debt, owes on 2 cars, owes on a boat, has a timeshare, and lots of maxed out credit cards. I told him my advice was, get out of all your debt, save up a down payment, and then let's talk again. No, that's not what I want. I want to invest now. I want to use real estate to get out of debt. That's the problem. That kind of thinking is what gets people in trouble. I don't believe in using real estate to get out of a bad situation. You got to get yourself out of that situation and invest in real estate from a financial position of strength. If you've got credit card debt, if you've got 1 or 2 new or newer cars, if you've got lots of stuffed finance, and you've got a lot of bills that are hard to pay, you need to get rid of that debt. Now, student loan debt and mortgage debt are potentially things you could wait on, but I'd get rid of everything else before getting into real estate. There are really only 2 ways to do this. You can cut expenses, or you can make more money. And I don't think there are big shortcuts for that. And doing those 2 things goes beyond the scope of this video, but I'll say it must be done. Now can I invest? Not quite yet. Do you have a retirement account? Retirement account? Real estate's going to be my retirement account. I don't think that's a good idea. Number 2 on my list is retirement accounts. You've got rid of debt, but you're not investing in retirement accounts. This is a big mistake. Examples of retirement accounts are IRAs, 401ks, and the Thrift Savings Plan, or TSP, for federal employees. And essentially what these accounts are is a legal way to cheat on taxes. When you put money into these accounts up to a certain limit each year, you get tax advantages that instantly makes you money. These are accounts that you start putting money in as young as possible and you don't touch until you retire. That whole time they're continually added to and they compound, and they do so tax-free or tax-advantaged, and it becomes a lot of money by the time you actually need to access it. It's widely known and accepted that the broad market overall, if you invest for the long term, has a return of at least 7 to 10% per year. Now take that return, make it tax-free or tax-advantaged, and it's worth a lot more. It's actually kind of foolish not to take advantage of this. Okay, I got you, but how much do I invest? Well, in an ideal world, you would invest the maximum. And the maximum for a 401k or a TSP is $19,500 a year. Maximum for an IRA, $6,000. Now in the real world, we might not be able to max this out at the beginning of our career. In that case, you make sure that you're getting a match in your 401k or TSP by contributing at least the right amount, and you contribute as much as you can each month and make that increase as your pay goes up. If you think this stuff is helpful, please hit the like button. It's somewhere down there. Hit that subscribe button for me, and then there's this little bell that's next to it. Hit that bell so you're notified when I make a new video. All right, let's continue. The third thing I want to talk about is knowledge. Now, of course, you can get knowledge from listening to podcasts, reading books. I think most people do a good job of accumulating the knowledge they need to get started successfully in real estate. I see new investors miss one really big thing often, and that is area expertise. This is extremely important for those people who are investing long distance, which, me being in the military, is pretty darn common. One thing you need for area expertise, you're gonna need to spend time there in person. You've gotta get in there and you've gotta see it yourself. Here's the kind of knowledge that you need about an area to be successful investing. What are the property management companies' fee structures and how do they differ from each other? What do investors think of each one of these property management companies in the area? What is the history of the neighborhoods in your city? What neighborhood should you invest in and why? What streets in that neighborhood are stronger or weaker than the rest of the neighborhood? It's important to know down to that detail about the area you're going to invest in, or you could really end up in trouble. And God forbid you use a turnkey company and don't know anything about it. Make sure you watch my turnkey video. How are you going to get this information? One thing you're going to do is you're going to Google your city name and then Real Estate Investors Association, REIA. They probably have information on the internet and they might even have a Facebook group. Make sure that you use the Bigger Pockets forums for your city. That should be free. Talk to property managers and investors in your area and watch my video or my blog post about how to find the best property managers. That's what I want to say about knowledge. Last, and probably the most important thing in my opinion, mentors. You need personal help for your specific situation in your specific city. And how are you going to get that? A lot of people will turn to paying for a coach to get this help. I wouldn't recommend doing this right now. I'm not against coaching overall. I don't think it's the right thing for a brand new investor. Some of you might join a real estate course or a real estate membership website that's supposed to help you walk through things, but you're not going to get the specific help that you need day to day when you run into problems. How are you going to get that? You need a mentor. There's a good way to do this, and there's a bad way to do this. Let me go into the bad way first. A bad way is to go to a popular podcast, send that person an email, and say, "Hi, my name is so-and-so. Will you please be my mentor?" Let me tell you something about the word mentor. Don't use the M word. The M word scares people. It scares me. If somebody says, "Hey, will you be my mentor?" I just want to turn around and run away as fast as I can. Or I want to delete that email or that voicemail. That's not the right way to go about it. This mentor thing needs to develop and happen in a natural way. Hopefully more natural than my hand motions are right now. I don't know what to do with my hands. You need to find not a celebrity mentor, but a peer mentor. Somebody that's a few houses ahead of you, a year or two ahead of you. Find a person like that and ask them to help you with a certain aspect of your search. Then make sure that you find a way to give back to them. Maybe you can find a deal and bring it to them. Or maybe they need help with something. It's up to you to figure that out, but make sure that you're giving something back and not just asking. The word mentor never needs to come up. Eventually it'll be understood that they're walking you through things and you're also helping them out in some way that you can, and it's just a relationship. And if they start calling it a mentor relationship at some point, well, that's great, but make sure you don't. So you think you're ready to invest? Maybe. But what about your debt situation? What about retirement accounts? How about your knowledge of the local area? And do you have a mentor that can back you up on this bumpy journey? This is Rich on Money. I hope this video helped. Be sure to subscribe. Hit the like button so I can have a little validation. And when you subscribe, hit that little bell next to it so you get notifications when I make a new video. This is Rich on Money, signing off.